Hi, and welcome to a conversation that might help you decide whether Silvertree Publishing, a high-touch collaborative book publishing company, is right for you. We are so excited you've connected with us. We can't wait to tell you more about what we offer and what makes us meaningfully different. So let's get started. I'm Stephanie here with Kate Colbert, founder and president of Silvertree Publishing. Hey, Kate.
Hey, Stephanie.
All right, are you ready to answer some of the most important questions that book authors have for their would-be publishers?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Great. First things first, I'm sure that those who are watching this video are likely wondering, is Silvertree for me? Let's take a moment and help them answer that question. What kind of authors does Silvertree typically serve?
So I think the easiest way to think about what our authors all have in common is that our authors are people who really recognize the value of this experience. They recognize that a well-written book, that a professionally published book, and that a strategically promoted book is a launch pad. It's a launch pad for their business success, and it can be the cornerstone of a strong personal brand. We're best known for our nonfiction business books. We publish a lot of books in the leadership and management space, business operations, marketing, communications, human resources. But we also have imprints for other genres of books as well. We have a memoir division called Silver Linings Media and one for literary works called Sterling Forest Press.
Fantastic. Well, as an author myself, I was interested to learn about the different publishing options available to authors today. Silvertree is a collaborative publisher. What does that mean, and how does collaborative publishing companies fit into the full landscape of book publishing options?
So I think that's probably the most important thing for authors to understand going into this experience and to their homework of trying to find the right publisher is that not all publishers are created equally, and there's never such thing as a good publisher and a bad publisher. There's just a whole lot of difference. So let me kind of walk you through that difference. The publishing landscape is rapidly changing right now. I sort of liken what's happening in publishing in this moment to what was happening with tech companies during the rise of the dot-coms. So there are big firms and little firms, hungry firms and ruthless firms. So it's important for people to understand those differences. So let me kind of walk you through four different sort of styles or models of publishing companies and how they differ in what I believe to be fundamental ways. The first model is what's called traditional publishing. It's what many people think of when they think of a book publishing company. They're the companies that have been around for 100 years or more. These are the folks who are really good at getting your book into physical bookstores. When you publish with a traditional publisher as an author, you typically have not a whole lot of control or ownership of your book once your contract is signed. But traditional publishers put out really strong books, and they have really great distribution into brick and mortar bookstores. It's important for people to understand that of the four models I'm going to walk you through, this is the only model that appears to be free upfront, where you're not paying fees for services involved in the publishing of the book, and that you might actually be receiving an advance or some sort of check advance on your royalties upfront. It appears free because of those things, but it's a balance and it's a trade-off, because in traditional publishing, the long-term back-end results, like royalties from book sales, actually favor the publisher and not the author. So this is different from a model like Silvertree. In publishing, it's important for you to understand that authors always pay. So you either pay with your pocketbooks now or later, or you pay sometimes with your brands later on. So it's important to understand what those trade-offs are, what the rewards and the costs look like, and not to miscalculate the value of opportunity costs. I would say that there are huge opportunities with traditional publishers. It's getting a little bit easier to get in front of them than it used to be, but it's still pretty difficult. There are huge possible benefits for exposure through traditional publishers and some nice upfront profit through advances with traditional publishing, but the deals are fewer and further between than they used to be. And as I mentioned, authors can sacrifice a whole lot in terms of creative control, their actual intellectual property, and the back-end profits. The second model that I think a lot of people hear about and maybe are worried about is what is sometimes known as vanity publishing or pay-for-play publishing. First of all, no one in those spaces call themselves that, so you need to do your homework. Read some reviews, talk to people who've published their books, and sort of find out sort of who are the companies to gear yourself towards and who you should stay away from. But these are the folks who can sometimes be very fast in getting your book to market, and they're pretty good at getting your book to a printer and sometimes producing a nice quality physical product. Vanity publishers typically don't edit, or they don't require that you edit your books, and the cover designs can be pretty cookie cutter or homemade looking. They typically don't offer strategic services or publicity. It can be a really affordable turnkey way to publish a book, but I would just say be mindful of the company's reputation and the overall author experience that they offer, and make sure that it matches up what you're looking for. The third model is doing it yourself. It's self-publishing. These folks, well, this is you. It's DIY. There are some really outstanding books that have been self-published. There have been some best-selling books that have been self-published. It can happen. If you like the challenge of learning as you go, self-publishing might be for you. In this model, think of yourself like as a general contractor. So sort of like building your own house, but in this case, you're building a book. So you're going to be finding and hiring your own graphic designer, your own editor, your own project manager, et cetera, through that process. If you like that and you thrive on that kind of work, this could be a good model for you. There are some potential pitfalls in self-publishing. So if you don't understand how publishing works, you could make some mistakes, for example, on how to get your book into the Library of Congress catalog. But there's also a lot of upside to self-publishing, so I wouldn't steer folks away from it. It can be very affordable. I would just say be mindful not to produce a book that looks homemade, because especially for business authors, it can be really hard to recover from a book release that looks amateur. The fourth model that is related to self-publishing, it's what's called supported self-publishing. These are companies that are self-publishing service companies. So these are folks who help you kind of along the way. They're typically very good at getting your book to a printer and to Amazon. The very best company in this category, in my opinion, is actually a company that that their roots are as a printing company. They've been around for almost 100 years. They produce really solid books. I would say supported self-publishing is less scary with fewer pitfalls than going completely alone. It's relatively affordable. You can still maintain all of your control and intellectual property because you're putting your imprint. So an imprint is the name on the back or the spine of the book. So if your name is Jane Smith, you might create an imprint and create a company called Jane Smith Books, and that's what would appear on the side of your book if you self-publish, or if you do supported self-publishing, you provide the imprint. And you still own all the intellectual property. But with support, you have access to designers and editors and other people sort of all aggregated for you. I would say one caveat for supported self-publishing: these folks will not make you edit your book, and it can be tempting to skip this step and skip that expense. So remember that published books that come out with rife with error are going to reflect negatively on you. So there is a lot of overlap in this category of publishers with what I would deem vanity publishers. So again, as always, be asking questions about how long has a company been in business, how happy are their authors, how successful have their books been, and certainly don't sign a contract with anyone in any of the categories if you have not purchased and ordered and picked up a copy of a book published by them where you've sort of seen the quality and laid your hands on it, and if you've not talked to one of their authors. The final category, and this is our category, is called collaborative publishing or hybrid publishing. This is us. This is our model here at Silver Tree Publishing. Folks in this category are really good at understanding your business. They're good at understanding your personal goals for your book, and they're there to help you use your book as a tool to open new doors and close more deals. In collaborative publishing, it's not just about cranking out a book. It's not about a product. So like other reputable models, collaborative publishers were very good at distributing your books through Amazon and other retailers. And Amazon really is sort of our bread and butter. They are the be-all and end-all retailer for books. With collaborative publishing, you retain a lot of control. There's significant control for authors. You retain your intellectual property. We produce high-quality books, from the cover design to the editing to the approach to the marketplace. And the production times, the time from when you submit your completed manuscript to the time your book actually is released to the marketplace, is pretty reasonable in collaborative publishing. And it's exactly what the name sounds like. It's about the relationship. It's about a collaborative experience. It's not about just cranking out another book product. It's about providing a relationship. We provide our authors with coaching and book launch support and with services that actually last a lifetime. I think of this category as sort of boutique, as high touch and somewhat elite. I founded Silvertree Publishing for one reason and one reason only. I believed the other models were coming up short. I thought that the kinds of authors all around me in my business life were being misused by publishers, or who were trying too hard and feeling like failures and not being able to get the time of day from a publisher. And I thought it was high time that someone built a better mousetrap, so to speak. So I believed authors deserved a better publishing experience, and I knew that I could provide that. So those are the four categories: traditional publishing, vanity or pay-for-play publishing, self-publishing, and traditional or hybrid, or or collaborative or hybrid publishing. So there's these four, and we're a collaborative publisher. So let me ask you, Stephanie, since you've gone through this whole process, why did you choose Silvertree?
Well, that's a great question. Well, I loved that Silvertree offered me the benefits of many types of publishing options by providing me a place where I owned my intellectual rights to the content, but also included a team of experts that could help me the most on my publishing journey. And really, to be honest, Kate, finding the right publisher for me was like finding the right partner in life. And the moment I met you and the rest of the Silvertree team, it just felt like family. But clearly, not all publishing experiences are created equally, and finding the right fit is crucial when authors choose a publisher. Tell us a little bit more about what Silvertree is best known for when it comes to your practices, your policies, your services, and your people. What is the magic that you deliver to your authors?
I love that. Our magic, I think, is made in a few ways. So first of all, we're a collaborative publisher born out of a strategic marketing company, and that makes us really different. We believe in producing books that open doors, that close deals, that change careers and lives and companies. We believe that books are themselves magic, and they create opportunity. We happen to excel at editing. I'm a professional writer by trade. I started my career as an English professor, and we have phenomenal writers and graphic designers and publicists on our team. So we really excel at editing, cover design, and promotion, which makes us a little bit different than other publishers. In everything that we do as book publishers, we're always thinking like marketers. I think it's important for folks to understand that we don't have any junior staffers. So everyone on our team are experienced professionals. I'm convinced that our authors really deserve the best, so we've built the company that way. We're also in this for the relationship, not for the transaction. So we serve authors and care for their books long after their books are released on Amazon, and that matters a lot to me. And I think one of the other things that makes us meaningfully different is that, unlike other publishing companies, we don't believe that brick and mortar bookstores are the holy grail. We understand that it feels cool to see your book in a local independent bookstore or in a chain bookstore, of which there are very few left. They're all beginning to go out of business. And I want to say sadly, because I grew up with bookstores, but it's just sort of a natural evolution of how people purchase and enjoy books these days. So we don't believe that brick and mortar bookstores are the holy grail. We know how to help you tap into multiple creative streams of revenue from your book. So while we're going to help you sell books on Amazon, we believe that we can take you far beyond the difficult saga of trying to sell books one at a time to individual customers online. I happen to believe that royalties are nice. I love it when I see royalties come through for books for our authors or for myself, but they are not how authors get rich and famous.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, that takes us to the next point on regarding price point. I know that's a question that's likely on everyone's mind. So, on average, what does it take to cost? What does it cost to publish a book with Silvertree?
So I would say up front that there are a lot of variable costs in book publishing. So it's going to cost you more to publish a 75,000 word book than a 25,000 word book, or more to publish a book that requires that the publisher design lots and lots of custom illustrations versus one that has no illustrations or charts or tables inside. But I'd say that our average author right now is investing between $8,000 and $12,000 in publishing their book, and some authors also invest in marketing and publicity services for the promotional period as well.
What would you say are the rewards to that?
There are so many rewards. Career growth, celebrity, the ability to raise your fees if you're a speaker or a consultant, the chance to go upstream to win bigger clients or business because of the quality of your book. Our authors also enjoy really high royalties, typically about 30% of the retail price of their paperback book comes back to them in royalty, and 70% of their ebook. And they also receive really steep discounts on author copies of their books, which they can sell from the back of the room at a really nice profit. So there are a lot of ways to tap into those streams of revenue. We also have authors tell us all the time that they make back their investment in week one. When they land a $10,000 or a $15,000 contract, and they're already ahead of the game. We also do a fair amount of custom books and help authors with bulk sales, so that can be a huge boon for authors. And what I mean by a custom book is, so maybe you wrote a book about manufacturing, and there is a large manufacturers association that's having a big conference, and they want you to speak, and there's going to be 600 people in the audience. You can work with us to have a version of your book customized for that association, so that we can put that professional association's logo on the back, maybe have their executive director or board president write a custom foreword for the book. We'll print those books, and you can sell those to the association, so everyone who comes to that conference gets a copy on their chair during your keynote or in their goodie bag when they step by the registration table to check in. This can be really significant. We actually recently had an author who sold 1,700 copies of a book to a company that she was giving a keynote at. So we created a custom edition of that book. I believe she earned almost $20,000 on that deal. So it's, yeah, I know, wow, right? So that's how money is made. It's not, a few dollars at a time and individual royalties. But it's important, I think, for me to say that it's not all about fame and fortune, even though that can be fun. The benefits of publishing a book really well and doing it with the right publishing partner include all kinds of things. It includes filling a bucket. So especially for our memoir and our literary authors, sometimes they've been wanting to write a book their whole lives. And so this bucket list dream is really important to our authors, and it's important to us too. So publishing a great book with the right partner is about full buckets. It's about proud hearts. It's about meaningful connections. It's about opportunity. And quite frankly, it's about joy. And I think all of those types of results are priceless.
Absolutely. Wow. Well, many authors are excited to learn about how long it will take to make that dream that they have into a reality. Kate, how long does it typically take to bring a book to market through Silvertree?
About 6 months.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. Well, just for our viewers' reference, how does this time frame compare to other types of publishing options?
It's our experience that traditional publishers, the lead time is about 18 months is what we're seeing. Self-publishing can go quickly or at a snail's pace. It's really kind of up to you. And supported self-publishing can be pretty quick, typically about 3 to 6 months.
Okay, great. Well, by now some viewers might be ready to take their exploration to the next level. How does an author get started if they'd like to connect with someone at Silvertree about their book?
So there's a couple things you can do to get started. I'd say it's always a good idea to talk to one of our authors. So if you were referred to us by somebody who's published with us or is currently working with us, I would say go back to that author who told you about Silvertree, get the full scoop about their experience. Definitely follow us on social media and reach out to us when you're ready. That initial outreach can be via email, so you can reach me and my team at stp@silvertreecommunications.com, stp as in Silvertree Publishing, stp@silvertreecommunications.com. The first step in our process is actually completing what's sort of like a pitch, what's our book publishing inquiry form. If you email us, we're going to send you a link to that form, or you can just skip the middleman and skip the email, go ahead and get to that inquiry form directly by visiting the Silvertree Publishing page on Facebook, and clicking on the Learn More button will take you straight to that inquiry form.
Fantastic. Well, what if viewers of this video have decided that Silvertree Publishing might be the right fit for them, but they still need some help navigating this world of publishing? Can Silvertree be a resource to them still?
Yes, absolutely. So please don't be afraid to connect with us, even if you aren't going to publish with us. There are a variety of services that we offer to authors and aspiring authors to help educate you and to open some doors, to remove barriers, to get you sort of smart on where to go from here, and to inspire and connect you to resources and to each other So again, follow us on social media to learn more about some low-cost and no-cost webinars that we provide, networking forums, and other services available to you. You can find us at publishwithsilvertree.com. I also want to let you know that we provide one-on-one publishing coaching, even if you're not one of our authors. So you can engage a Silvertree publishing coach like myself for just an hour or two to answer all your questions about your self-publishing plan, for example. So if you're worried about pitfalls, you want to make sure you talk to somebody who knows the scoop about how things work, whether you've got questions about ISBNs or Library of Congress or print on demand or Amazon or whatever you need to know, we'd be happy to help you out with that. Coaching can be purchased at a 1 hour minimum. We really love authors and we love books, and I built this company to demystify this entire book publishing experience to make it less daunting and a lot more welcoming and more ripe with opportunity. So please don't be a stranger if we can be of service.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your time today, Kate. So I think we'll leave it at that, having given an authors a lot to think about when it comes to their options and the exciting possibilities that await them. Thank you all for listening and learning. Congratulations on the book you have written, you are about to write, or you're dreaming of writing. You can do this. And if your book and Silvertree's approach are the perfect match, we'd certainly be honored to help.